time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. We have a great guest for you today. Nick Kelly is here from West Coast Marine. He is the Yamaha guy. He is the Parker guy. He is the Camus guy, and so much more. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. This year, make reliable boating your resolution and back it with exhilarating deals with a new Yamaha outboard during Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection. Looking to hit the water with lower horsepower? There's a deal for you too. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $200 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods and services. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2025, subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24-month Yamaha extended service added to a 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealer for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. I always love it this time of year because it's showtime and you can feel it. And how cool to have Nick in the house this morning. Like this is it, man. The shows are always the kickoff to fishing season, and boy, you can really feel it with this year's PCS coming. There's a lot of buzz, and you know the boats are like the biggest part of the show. Today's gonna be a rad day.
So much. And good morning, Nick.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Great to have you in the studio here. And we just heard the Yamaha commercial about that incredible show deal that they're doing, right?
Yep.
Up to 7 years of protection on your new motor.
That's exactly right. There's on the 450s, 425, you can get 7 years of extra warranty on that. And then as you go down the horsepower range, it kind of lessens. So I think in your V6s, it's up to 5 years.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
5 years
of
protection.
Yeah.
And rather than 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Factory 3.
Factory 3.
Factory 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 2 extra years, a lot, or 3, and if it's a bigger motor, 7 years.
Exactly. And that goes through March 31st right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So now's the time to buy, and that gives you more incentive to buy at the upcoming PCS show.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
How many of us are listening to the show that have, got a boat that they love and they fish with for years, but are just dealing with constant motor issues? And every time you back down the ramp, you're crossing your fingers that it's going to go or it's not going to let out on you. How nice to strap a brand new motor that they could not even think about it for the next 5 years. Like, it's so rad.
I agree.
That'd be cool. So is that on new motors as well as repowers?
Yeah.
Any new motor, whether it's on a whether you buy a brand new Parker at the PCS or a brand
Correct.
new Camus.
Yes, exactly.
So all applies. So even if it's put on by the manufacturer, it still applies.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
legit.
Okay. So, and then a repower, if you need to repower, like Ricky was saying, you're just tired of dealing with issues.
Yep.
Put a repower, a Yamaha on there, and you get that too.
They do, and they also have some pretty good financing available right now as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like lower percentage rates.
Very low percentage rate for a period of time. I think it's 1 year.
Wow.
Right now. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So you can take advantage of that.
Yeah. Now, what about buying a new boat? Okay. Now, what are you going to have at PCS?
We're going to have a long list of boats on the Parker side. We have a 28, 25, 24, and then a 23 center console.
Wow.
21 center console and an 18 center console.
Wow.
Yeah. So kind of the whole
wow.
lineup that's good for our
Everything.
fishery. Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. So they still making the 25 and the 24.
Correct. Yeah. So they got the 28, which we've all seen, cabin boat, the 25 cabin boat, and then the new 24 that came out.
Yeah. That's cool. How's that 24 going over?
It's going really well. We
Super cool.
ordered quite a few last summer, and I've had to add a couple more because I think we got through 3 of those boats that I'm kind of delivering right now. And that boat's been actually gaining a lot of popularity since that 2320 cabin has gone away.
How does the 24 differ from the 25?
It's basically length, a little bit of deck space. They got fish holds in them now,
Nice.
one on each side of the cockpit there. And now, believe it or not, they're actually coming standard with Seakeeper Ride. Which,
Oh, no
Really?
way.
Yeah,
Really? That's
so
legit.
that is something we can talk about. It's been really nice addition to the Parker lineup. Is that Seakeeper Ride has been awesome.
So most of the Parkers now coming from the factory have Seakeeper Ride on them.
Starting ordering boats like this February and March, they're all going to come. The cabin boats and some of the larger center consoles will come standard with Seakeeper Ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then if your boat doesn't have Seakeeper Ride, you guys install it, right?
We do. So a lot of the boats we sold last year, basically all the models, every boat has left with the Seakeeper Ride since we started doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that big of a deal.
It works really
cool.
well.
And it's not that expensive.
It's not too bad. Where the cost comes in for the 28 and the 25 on last year's model or this year's model that I still have a few of those boats is there's still a pocket for the trim tab plate, like the Lenco electrics.
Mhm.
So you do have to fill in that space in there,
Right.
and then you mount that Seakeeper Ride to the transom of the boat.
Yeah.
Definitely can be done, and it's not a terribly hard install.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It works for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But you've been, I mean, you've got to be on so many boats that have had it and then not had it and are become completely familiar with it. It's
Yeah.
everything they're saying it is.
What's nice is a customer can get on the boat and I can fine tune that Seakeeper Ride and kind of got it dialed in now where you just put auto and that thing comes out of the whole flat. And then at about 10 miles an hour, it retracts a little bit, lifts the bow up, and then up to about 25 miles an hour, it fully retracts. And then it's constantly working to keep that boat flat. In turns, it's pretty flat. Underway, it's just keeping your boat perfectly level no matter where the weight's distributed.
Really?
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Amazing
That's cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now, when you shift around and you had the like if you were running your regular tabs and okay, everything's good, boat's right, and then 2 guys get up and they grab a sandwich and a beer and they move to a different spot in the boat and you're having to reposition, will it do that for you?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yes, it's very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty nice deal. Now you're going to have Camus at the PCF show too.
Yeah, we'll have we're bringing the 34 Cat and the 28 Bay boat and the 26. I should have that Benny's boat there as well.
Okay. Benny's
Yeah.
26.
So we should have a good lineup of that for people to climb on.
You have a big space.
No doubt, dude.
Yeah, we'll be right in front
Right
where we
in
were
front.
last
Yeah, as soon
year.
as you walk in,
Yep,
you
I
see-
think it'll be fun
can't
to
miss
look at all the boats. Yeah,
can't miss you.
you can't miss it.
It's like your own boat show.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So, and Benny, of course, will be there, right? I know he's doing some seminars and stuff.
Doing
but
some
he'll be hanging out
seminars.
with his
He'll be
boat,
hanging
talking
out.
about-
That 26 is for sale. We're kicking around and getting another boat. So, well, yeah, that'll be there.
Yeah. 28 bay boat. What a giant bay
I
boat that
know.
is. Huh?
It's pretty impressive ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, that thing is a nice ride.
How
Great
does that
platform.
differ from Benny's 26?
Length overall and width,
Okay.
and then horsepower.
So is
Yeah.
20
Other than that, it's the same thing.
so is Benny's a bay considered a bay boat too?
Yeah, I would consider
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
can
bay
take
boat.
it to the islands.
Oh, he does. He rips
Yeah.
that thing all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a
Plenty
nice ride.
seaworthy, right?
Extremely seaworthy.
Bayboat these days just seems to refer to a high horsepower bitch and center console that also has a killer casting platform.
Exactly. And a trolling motor on the bow and
Right.
a killer casting platform. Yeah.
But I mean, zipping offshore is become common practice. I mean, there's no downside to the hull efficiency and capability being offshore. It's more like your deck layout, and all seem to have that killer high horsepower.
Impressively dry as well for a low profile boat like that.
It's cool.
Seems to me they should call it a sports utility boat.
I
like that. Yeah, it's more like that.
Yeah, because it's
SUV.
not really a bay. Yeah, SUV. Yeah. So the new Yamaha 350.
Yes,
that thing is pretty amazing. Huh?
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Super lightweight for a 350.
Lightweight for a 350, a V6 platform, high output alternator. Nice gear case on it. It pushes heavy loads. Really nice.
Yeah. How does it differ from the 300?
Charging output, a little bigger volume and displacement. I think the V6 300 was 4.2 liters. This is 4.3 liter.
Wow.
And then gear ratio is slightly different. I believe it still uses the same prop, so that's kind of nice to be able to standardize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pushing those heavy loads really nice.
So whereas before you were putting a 300 on it, now you're putting a 350 on things?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that 24 or or even a 25 or a 23?
Yep. On the Parker side of things, it's still the same. 28s are twin 300s. 25s are coming with twin 200s. The 24 you can get with twin 200s or twin 150s. Both are a pretty solid package there.
Wow.
But yeah, single outboard applications. If you have an older boat, you got to be aware of your Coast Guard placard on it for horsepower rating. You don't want to exceed that. So a lot of the older boats, you're probably not going to be able to repower with it. But some of the newer ones, maybe 10 years and newer, will have a sticker that might say 350, 400 horsepower on it.
How's the weight differ between the 300 and the 350?
Gosh, I should have looked at that before it came. It's slightly more heavy.
Just like
because it's the 300 V6 was 560, and now they come with electric steering, so that added a little bit of weight. So that might be 15, 20 pounds more. I'd have to look at the stats on that, but it's slightly heavier. And the 350 only comes with that electric steering module on the back of the engine, so there's no more hydraulic.
No more hydraulic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Losing hydraulic versus
very
electric?
Curious too.
We have a lot of those electric steering outboards out in the field now, and not one has come back with a major issue that I've seen. And so pretty bulletproof. I have it on a workboat in Long Beach and haven't had an issue with that system.
Yeah.
I know Brandon Hayward was saying that they loved it. And also that like that in, with working with the autopilot was like the
Yamaha autopilot.
Yeah. It was just like amazing how true that was. Like there was zero movement, zero walk, zero anything. Like,
that's a good point. That Yamaha autopilot they built for those electric steering motors is phenomenal. It works very well, and it's easy to set up. Yeah, and that's an add-on too. So if you do buy a boat that has electric steering, say you buy a new boat, you can upgrade that later on and get that autopilot at any time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So you actually have boats in stock.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That are ready for the season.
Ready for the season. We can get them ready to go. Again, 228s, 225s. I've got kind of a fun deal. You have to go to the show to see it. I'm going to kind of keep it a secret. There's a 2420 I'm coming in on Monday afternoon. So I'm pushing the limit here a little bit.
Yeah.
But that'll have some fun stuff on it. And going back to the Seakeeper ride, that's going to have it on there. So you'll be able to see how the factory mounts it up and how that standard Seakeeper ride is going to look on the boat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about service? You guys you've built your business on service, right? I mean, that's kind of your deal. Not only service on the sale, but also on service on the after the sale. Right?
Yep. So we do a ton of work on old boats, old Yamahas. Been really busy in the service side all through winter. So yeah, don't skip out on that and try to get it done now because it's coming up quick here. Gets full.
No doubt. I'll bet.
What's your situation right now for service? Somebody calls you up and said, "Hey, my boat needs a service. How soon can you get it back to me?"
Standard service, we can kind of turn and burn those pretty quick. If there's kind of issues, it's probably 3 weeks out now.
Okay.
2 to 3 weeks out.
Yeah. Still not bad. Still plenty of time to get the boat back in.
Yeah, plenty of time. I mean, it's already March today.
I was going to say plenty of time, but not that. I was going to say not that much. I mean, this is it. Like,
how do you believe?
I know it's coming fast.
It sure is.
Yeah, it is. So the Parker 21 that you're taking to the show,
23 center console,
23
special edition.
Console. So they still make the center console 23.
Yep, and that's the special edition.
Now, what's the special edition?
So that's they actually put a little bit more V in the hull now. It's actually a really nice riding boat. That boat, I have it in gray with a black T-top and a trolling motor.
Oh, that's cool.
And like a little windscreen with some wings on it.
Oh.
And that boat that looks really good. That's going to be a nice boat to get on at the show.
That's like the new version of exactly what Doug has. So Doug's is a special edition 23. Obviously, it wasn't available then, but he added all those wings and everything to his too. And I have fished countless hours on that boat with Doug. It's fantastic. I think it's like the coolest all-around utility boat that they have. I'm a center console guy. I always have it. And like that boat is big and it's comfortable. And we've taken it offshore and we've done a bunch of marlin fishing, but it's also easy to tow and a lot easier to store. And you can push it with power that's very economical and the price is down. I love that boat. I'm super, super familiar with it.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said like the price is down. It's such a cool boat. And the price point on that 23 SE is really good. I mean, I think we have it at like 138,000 on that boat. And we're going to mess around with some like show specials, but it's a lot of boat for the money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To do everything. Cause like with Doug's boat, we are very comfortable to just hang out in the bay and do bay bass fishing all the way up to big bluefin offshore. And we've done a lot of marlin fishing. I mean, everything like that boat fishes the islands and offshore just as good as it does sticking around fishing inshore in the bay and kelp beds.
Mm-hmm. Now, I love that boat. I used to have a 21 deep V center console. Loved that boat. Caught so many fish on that boat. It was unbelievable. Such a great fishing platform. Do they still give you the option of a modified V or a deep V, or is that
you have to go into their 22 and 24 models for the deep V?
So they make a 22 now.
Yeah, I love the look of the 23 SC and the 21 SC, and I think it's just a lot of bang for the buck.
Yeah. What's the difference between the SE and a deep V?
It's just hull and how they build it and lay it up, and then you're obviously getting a sharper entry, and that entry goes all the way back to the transom. So theoretically, you're cutting through larger swell and chop with that boat. But having been on the 23 and the 21, I think the trade-off on fuel economy between the two is really nice on that 23 and 21 SE. Like, yeah, it's because
you're going to get way better fuel economy.
It's slightly flatter, but you can get better fuel economy on that boat, and I just love the look of it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that, like Ricky says, you can go offshore with that, and it rides great. I've been on Doug's boat,
no problem,
countless times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really great.
Transom notched like they were before. Yeah. See, I like that too because it's not hanging way off on a bracket, so everything's very comfortable, very easy to get around motors.
Yep.
Seating is easier.
Sits on a trailer well,
killer.
Storage. Yep. Yeah. All that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I love my 18 Parker. You're gonna have one of those too, but it's a new edition. And is this the one that you're bringing for the CCA? Is this going to be the CCA boat?
I should get my 18. Hopefully this again, and pushing the limits here, but maybe Monday. If I don't get that one Monday,
the show is like this week, right?
You're telling me. If I don't get that boat, I do have the backup because the CCA boat that they have is going to be really close to my booth, so we'll be able to walk over there and check that out.
It's the same boat.
Yes,
and I will say
it's the new edition of the 18.
Exactly, a little bit wider boat. Yeah, it's nice.
That is the single largest sub 20-foot boat that exists for saltwater fishing.
Yep.
Again, Pete, I fished yours a bunch. I mean, for hooping, kelp bed fishing, whatever, multiple people on an 18-foot center. That is the biggest,
such a
fishable boat that there is. Walk around, you put a real bait tank and a real motor and real rod holders on a boat that's easy to deal with.
And you put a 150 on it.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Put a 150 on that thing. I get like 4.5 miles to the gallon. I mean, it's like, and it's got, is it a 60-gallon bait or a 60-gallon fuel tank?
I believe it's 45.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah. I used to not have to fill it like, I'm out of fuel. It's like, that was like 2 months ago, right? You hardly ever have to put fuel in the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a cool rate.
They're super efficient. So if you're looking for an easy care, all around, and very good value too. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In that boat. Yeah. Speaking of CCA, of course, they're kicking off the Star Tournament at the PCS show. Go by the CCA booth. Go by and see the Parker from West Coast Marine and Yamaha on there. That's equipped with a 150, right?
Correct.
Yamaha?
Yes.
Yeah. And get in on the Star Tournament. So you can sign up right at the show with Chris and Tony and the whole crew from CCA California. Right at the show and get in that Star Tournament. And here's the cool thing about the Star Tournament this year. By popular demand, you now can fish in Mexico. So last year they didn't allow you to any fish caught in Mexico in the waters, which for us here in San Diego's a big deal, right?
Sure.
Because that's where we fish a lot. You can fish caught in, so you go to the Coronado Islands, catch a big yellow or big calico bass or halibut or whatever. You catch that at Coronado Islands or offshore, it qualifies for the Star Tournament this year. So,
and you only need to catch one to enter, to have one entry.
Yeah, you just
I think
enter
the guy who
on
won
the
last
app.
year had 2 entries. I think
2 entries, and there were probably guys that had 40 entries in there.
Oh
right?
yeah, believe that.
Yeah. And now is that guy pretty stoked with his new boat?
I think so.
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah, I would say.
Can you imagine? You kidding me?
Winning an 18
so
Parker.
rad.
Yeah, and that could be you this year. So be sure you sign up at the PCS show for the Star Tournament, the CCA booth. Just look for the Parker, the 18 Parker, and go down and say hi to Tony and Chris and the whole gang at CCA California and support our right to go fishing. That's the most important thing, is supporting CCA supports your right to go fishing, for sure. As you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. Nick Kelly, West Coast Marine, just the ultimate dealer and service guy here in your midst. And if you have questions, don't forget, Nick is a service guy too, so he knows the ins and outs of all the outboards and all the issues.
Love the show every year. Love getting to talk Parker with Nick, and we love talking to you. And if you want to join us this morning, man, give us a call at 833-288-0973. One more time, 833-288-0973 is how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup. And I can't agree with what Pete's saying. More like Nick's the ultimate in terms of boats, getting into them, but also service and repair and everything else. It's always a really fun show. Always fun seeing which direction our callers take us throughout the day. And boy, in addition to calling us, it already been a lot of really good text messages come through. The text the show option of Let's Talk Hookup has just become so popular. And if you want to send a text to Nick today, the only way you can do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download if you don't have it already. It's the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. The stream plays on it every morning live, and also you can catch all of the archive shows through the app, and it's your only avenue to text in your questions to Nick today. When you do, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number is all we need in case you win today's big prize. We want to make sure to get it to you. And what a cool prize we have going on today. So
it's a big prize package.
You're not kidding, man. So one lucky caller or texter is going to win a full day trip on board the San Diego at a C4 Sport Fishing, and 2 Michael Seawald signed photographs from the Seawald Gallery in Encinitas. Plus, you're also going to get 2 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa this Thursday through Sunday. You can get in and crawl around on all those killer Parkers we're talking about with Nick. How about that for a cool prize pack
quite
today?
A prize pack.
You're going full day fishing. You're getting some killer artwork from Seawald and 2 tickets to the upcoming PCS show. Again, if you want to get your chance at that great prize pack, or better yet, just your chance to have your questions answered by Nick, give us a call at 833-288-0973, or keep those texts rolling in on the Let's Talk Hookup app. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice, on that Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
24 years ago, I visited this amazing place called Hawaii Archipelago. I just could not get enough of this amazing islands. Natural beauty, friendly people, and phenomenal fishing. I knew I needed to spend more time there. Moving forward to today, here I am, a fishing lodge owner. Hi, this is Valerie Hopridge from Queen Charlotte Safaris in beautiful Hawaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. We're a boutique lodge just steps from the Sanskrit Harbor, offering truly a unique fishing adventure. Our fishing is world-class. You will fish for king salmon, halibut, lingcod, crabbing, and much more. Our fishing grounds are unspoiled, untouched, and surrounded by stunning scenery. We're dedicated to making your venture an experience that will bring a lifetime of memories. We will welcome you as friends, and you will leave as part of our Queen Charlotte Safaris family. We are booking now. Please give me a call at 1-877-815-2892, or check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or visit our website, qcsafaris.com.
Hey, this is Captain Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable, dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats, as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check westcoastmarine.com.
Whether you're fly fishing, bottom fishing, net fishing, or just sitting on the water thinking about fishing, remember, a good day on the water starts with everyone wearing a life jacket. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Gas prices are going up, up, up. So now more than ever, you need Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. Pull up to the newly expanded Summit Gasoline and get low gas and diesel prices for your car, truck, and boat. They can now accommodate 24 cars and trucks to fuel at the same time, plus 12 diesel boats, plus 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum 35-gallon fill-up. Easy in and out, too. Step into the Summit Bistro and enjoy what Martha and her crew have for you on things you can use. Fresh-made burritos, sandwiches, and salads, along with beer, beverages, and, of course, always free ice. So many Let's Talk Hookup listeners have taken advantage of Summit Gasoline's low prices, great service, and free ice. They have become the largest seller of fresh gourmet ice in Southern California. Summit also sells frozen bait and fishing licenses 24 hours a day. Summit Gasoline. Low prices, friendly staff, free ice, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Already having a great time here this morning with Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine. Phone lines are packing up. Texts are already crazy. But if you want to get through, 833-288-0973. That's how you reach us here on the fan this morning.
Yeah, Jeff's standing by to take your phone calls. You have a chance to win that full-day trip on the San Diego, and two Michael Seawald signed photograph from Michael there at Seawald Galleries in Encinitas. Actually, you just go online and you select from 120 different images. It's super cool. That's right. And he'll send them right to you, or you can come right to the gallery and pick them up. And of course, you get to go for free 2 tickets to the PCS show that starts this Thursday at the Costa Mesa Fairgrounds there, Orange County. They call it the Orange County Fairgrounds, right?
Orange County Fairgrounds.
Orange County, which is right there in Costa Mesa, which is about a mile and a half from your shop.
You have a long toe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's cool. So you're right on Newport Boulevard there.
Yep.
So if you continue past where the fairgrounds are, you'll run right into West Coast Marine.
You would. That 55 freeway runs in the Newport Boulevard.
Yeah.
We're right on the right-hand side.
Right there.
Yep.
Can't miss it. Yeah, for sure. Well, you have a great text, huh?
I thought so. It was just a great way to get started this morning. It says, hey, good morning, guys. Great show. My question is, when repowering a boat with the same manufacturer, can the same controls, key switches, and harnesses be used, or do you tend to replace everything? I'm very interested in doing a repower right now. That's from Matt in Apple Valley.
Short answer is yes, you can reuse the equipment, the rigging equipment on the boat. It does depend on if you want to go latest and greatest on the motor. So we do, like we were talking about before, the electric steering. So if you do want to upgrade to like the 150 and the 200 now can come with that electric steering option. You can do that, but you would have to upgrade all the equipment on the boat to make that run. They also still make an engine that would be a straight swap where you could unbolt one and bolt one on.
Okay.
So there's a few different options that we would educate and let you know about before we did that.
Is replacing throttles and cables and that, does that a relatively heavy expense? Is that pretty minor in terms of the repower part of it? Would you tend to just go with all new, or is it really a case by case scenario?
You should definitely go with all new.
Yeah.
But that's me trying to sell. But no, you can keep it on the lower side and make it more cost effective. And it's still the same power plant, same block on the engine.
Okay.
It's just whether or not you want to keep your old hydraulic lines and mechanical shift and throttle cable, or you have that option to go to the next step and get that electric steering, which allows you to build upon and possibly get autopilot or joystick as well in the future. Yeah.
How big of a motor do you need to have the electric steering?
150.
That's it?
Yeah.
So it'll go all the way down to 150.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
They've come down in the horsepower range and been incorporating that.
So smaller horsepower. So is that what you put on the Parkers on the 18s now?
Parkers on the 18s you can get. It's really interesting. So if you remember all the old 150s, 115s, you would bolt on that C-Star hydraulic steering.
Right.
So now with the 150, any 150 you buy now, is going to have, it's still hydraulic, but it's made from Yamaha, and it comes with that hydraulic steering as part of the engine.
Oh, really?
So you don't see that black C-Star cylinder back there anymore.
Oh, nice.
But what's nice about it is if you do a repower, you get rid of that old hydraulic cylinder, and then you can take those hoses and just plug them into the Yamaha, where that hydraulic would be that Yamaha's making now.
Okay.
So you can still spin those fittings on it. It still works.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
So in
easy.
Matt's case, you wouldn't necessarily need to replace that. They'll just what did fit the C-Star now fits the Yamaha.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Well, hey, phones are packing up. Let's jump into it, Rick.
You got it. How about we talk with Chuck, who's calling us from Dana Point this morning on line 2. Good morning, Chuck. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, I can't wait to crawl on boats at the show.
Yeah, right.
I'll be up there with Wyatt on the horn.
Exactly.
Joseph was talking about doing the demo with the sea things. And does a dog pool have enough volume of water to do that in when they're all done? You could put one in with a forklift, get a couple guys trying to shake that thing around. That thing's just amazing when you see that demo. It's crazy.
So there's two different things you're talking about. You're talking about a Seakeeper and a Seakeeper ride. They're two completely different things.
Yeah.
Seakeeper is
But the ones,
a different, what he's talking about is the Seakeeper ride, and you actually need to go fast to make that Seakeeper ride work, right?
Yeah, the Seakeeper rider's it's a trim tab that's on the transom of the boat, and
replaces your trim tabs.
Replaces your trim tabs, and then the Seakeeper gyro is an entirely different thing.
I get the most basic. One keeps you flat when you're not going somewhere, and the other one keeps you flat when you're at speed.
Perfect way to put it. Yeah.
Now, the electric to the hydraulic, does it have that spot check where you can stay on one spot?
Like Skyhook or
you can actually, if you get an electric steer motor, you can add a joystick to a single motor application.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's too cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It does, if you're fishing kelp patties or bass fishing or something like that, that unit does have a GPS and it will keep you in the same general area, but it does use a lot of prop wash. So I'm still kind of a drifter, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah. So you have to be careful with that.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, good call, Chuck. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Some pretty good stuff. I mean, the Seakeeper ride is just it's just kind of hard for people to grasp what that is. But they'll have a demo at the show. And
I'll have a boat with it on it, so you'll be able to see it. And I can show you how it works.
Like. Mm-hmm. It's just like a fancy trim tab.
It's a very fancy trim tab.
Very fancy trim tab. Yeah.
Well, I had another great text here from John in Rancho San Diego. It says, hey, what a great show with Nick. Nick, is there anything in the world of Parkers that's like a certified used boat purchasing option? I'm really in the market, and I was hoping that you could give me a little rundown of the things that are important to look for when buying a used boat. Also, does West Coast have any used boat options?
I don't have any used boat options right now. Parkers on the resale market, they do hold their value. And I think for a good reason. They're built tough. The only thing I would think about when buying a used boat is age. If we're getting into a 20-year-old boat, one thing is the motor, and will you have to repower in the future? I mean, the answer is yes. But then you just worry about aluminum fuel tank under the deck. So kind of as you're looking at old boats, take that into consideration. I can't give you a time frame, but aluminum tank, maybe, 20 years, but you can visibly see the tank, underneath the deck with those pie plates on the deck. And so that would be a good thing to look at when you're looking at a used boat. And then again, hire a surveyor and survey the engine in the boat.
So if you open one of those little pie plates and you're visibly noticing pitting and the tank's just looking like it's in rough shape, the bottom side's probably just as bad, if not worse. Yeah.
Cause they're foamed in, and so if there's a bait tank on the deck and it's wet in there,
which there almost always is.
The corners of the tank and then the bottom of the tank can start pitting. So just be aware of that when you're buying a boat, that especially 15, 20, 25 years old, if that's your thing, that a fuel tank replacement might be
have that
necessary.
in your back pocket.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thanks a lot for the call. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
You got it, man. How about this time we talk to Robert? He's calling us from Canyon Country. What's up, Robert? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. The timing is absolutely perfect. In the market for Yamaha, and I had a couple of questions. Is it worth waiting for the show? And the second question, I was wondering about the new RPMs, lowering the RPMs for trolling.
Sure. Yeah, we'll have deals at the show. We're always selling engines at below retail and typically around dealer cost. So I'm always trying to get new motors out there and I love to do repowers. So that's something we're always doing. And then the new throttles for these engines, I would say 150 and above. They do have a speed controller on the side of the throttle, which is one of my most favorite deals on those throttles. On the side of the left shifter, you can bump it up and down. You activate it, and then you bump up and down. And what's really neat is you can get it really low to where the engine kicks out of gear on its own, in and out of gear, to keep you at 1 mile an hour, 2 mile an hour.
Way.
Yeah, it's a really great feature.
It's like literally the bounce ball, slow troll sardine feature.
Yeah, when I had my Parker 25, I had the autopilot and then that throttle, and I would just pick a route on my route and then just set it at like 1 mile an hour. You slow troll, anywhere you want. It's really neat.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's way cool.
It's a great feature.
Know that was a thing.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. And I'm working on a 70 horse. Does that?
The 70 horse, yeah, you can do that troll mode, but it's through the gauge, unless it's a tiller motor, and then there's a switch on the tiller. Okay. Yeah, so it's possible.
That's cool.
All right. Hey, thanks.
So I'm working with George, one of your salesmen. Should I buy it today or should I wait till next Thursday?
I think today's Saturday, so I don't think he's there today. But if you want to come talk to me at the show, I'll be happy to help you out.
Sounds great. I'll be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right on.
Good going.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the call this morning. I have a great one here from Dan in Los Alamitos, and he says, "Hi guys, great show. I have a question about the Star Tournament. How much does it cost, and how long does the tournament last?" Okay, so the tournament starts Memorial Day till Labor Day, right?
Yep.
And they have a special show deal going on for the Star Tournament. First of all, you need to be a CCA California member. If you're already a member, I know last year it was $40. I'm not sure what it is this year. Do you know, Nick?
God, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but if you're not a member, this year they have a special deal. You get a CCA. It's a CCA California membership package, show special for PCS. For $100, you get the Star Tournament entry, you get the membership, the CCA, and you get a 1-year subscription to Western Outdoor News. So cool. For $100, so the whole thing. So you get the membership, the subscription, and also the Star Tournament entry. So, yeah. And it's pretty inexpensive to join the Star Tournament. And here's the other crazy thing. There's 9 other grand prizes besides the Parker 18 SE that Nick is offering up and Yamaha are offering up. And they're really nice prizes too. They have 14 weekly grand prizes and a $15,000 scholarship is up for grabs for the youth division. So they now have a Star Youth division this year with a $15,000 scholarship.
How fun.
Super, super cool. So yeah, go by the CCA booth and see Chris and Tony and the gang and sign up for that because it's a pretty good deal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had a great text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. My question is for Nick. I'm just wondering if catamarans with a sport cabin will become a popular option, in your opinion, in SoCal. I love the Parker Pilot House and see a lot of center console cats fishing locally. We fish on a 32-foot aluminum Pilot House catamaran in Alaska, and it's extremely comfortable. Just wondering what your opinion is on the way things are going to go." That's from Ted in San Diego.
I don't think I could say which way it was going to go, but gosh, I hope so. Right? I think that would be a really great idea. Cats on the West Coast keep becoming more popular, and I think having that option for like a little enclosure would be pretty neat. Keep you out of the weather. Thing with the cat is you don't have much room in the center of the hull, so getting like a little berth down there, I think takes them maybe a little bit more R&D to figure out how to utilize the space well. Is the only thing I can come up with, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But gosh, I hope so.
That'd be cool.
Oh my God, it'd be amazing.
I mean, the blend, like you guys offer 2 such cool boats in Parker and Camus. It'd be really cool to see some kind of a blend between those.
Yeah, maybe if I sell some of these boats, I'll have to make one myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Put cool. A Pilot House on there.
It is crazy too, talking about. I mean, I know Camus has boats from bass boats all the way up to now 40+ footers, but it is pretty crazy. It was just not that long ago that you just didn't even see a big center console out here, a 30-foot plus center console. And now it's everywhere. I mean, it's becoming such a tool. And it'll be interesting to see, like Ted's saying, how it goes in another 10 years.
I think so. That big center console and cat market is neat because you can leave early in the morning, blast out there, fish all day, and then you get home fast and you're at your own house sleeping. And I think, I don't know if it's like the cost of it, but to run a 40-foot sport fisher, somebody's at the captain's in the fly bridge and you got crew, and there's a lot more going on there where, shoot, you could take a couple friends and blast out in the center console and come back, and you don't need crew. It's easy to maneuver.
The ease of operation is the other thing too. I mean, anybody can push a couple throttles and steering wheel. Now you have multiple outboards and everything's linked up, and there's joysticks for parking. I mean, just the ease of operation is nothing like it was 20 years ago.
Yep, I agree.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right, very good.
All right. Well, hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got more of your phone calls. We got catch reports. Whole lot of fun with Nick. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year, the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss it.
This is Bob Hoots at Costa Sunglasses. Visual signs are critical part of my fishing program, from bay bass to bluefin. I wear Costas to see what's out there. Costas are built with advanced polarization technology with our 580 lens, designed to cut through the sun's glare while providing enhanced color to see more fish. Costa was founded by a group of anglers wanting a high-performance lens for every fishing application. Costa has a West Coast style frame and lens for your adventures. CostaSunglasses.com.
I've had the opportunity to fish many places in many different types of water, but never have I fished a place as much fun as Katmai Lodge in Alaska. Hello, my name is Harold Davis, typically fishing in the ocean, but this is an experience that you have to try for yourself. Fish natural rivers with tens of thousands of fish coming up. And they have all the gear: spinning, bait casting, fly rods, kings, silvers, pinks, sockeyes, and my favorite, the chums. Outstanding food, outstanding accommodations, great service. The lodge is located in the beautiful Katmai National Park, filled with amazing wildlife. Brown bears, moose, eagles, otters, and it has spectacular scenery. And also the fact that the lodge is located right on the Alagnak River and your boat is just steps away from your room makes it great. Do yourself a favor. Call Charmel at 1-800-330-0326 or go online, katmai.com. And like Pete says, they will hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fun, talking fishing, new boats, PCS. It's game on, buddy.
It's really game on, and a lot to talk about. Speaking of Alaska, we heard last week. We heard from Seth Bone, and they actually still have spots available on our Let's Talk Hookup trip to go with you.
Yes,
to Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. This never happens, and Seth's not doing any of the shows, so maybe people aren't as on it as they should be. But if you want to go to probably the best value, it is the best value of a Alaska fishing vacation, period, with the best quality Kingfisher Charters.
No doubt, especially for just the caliber of saltwater fishing that you will have on boats that you're used to fishing, our style of fishing, our style of gear. I mean, a typical day at Kingfisher is go out in the morning, troll up limits of salmon. If you're Pete, you don't like to troll for them. You drop it back Colt snipers and catching them on the jig.
Yeah.
And, it's limits of salmon is very common in the morning.
And we're going during prime king season.
Then rip off a little ways offshore and find a bitch and reef. And, we'll usually catch limits of rockfish and lingcod and all that cool shallow water stuff. Very similar to calico bass fishing, often in 30 feet of water or less.
Yeah.
Then you rip offshore from that and you go catch your massive halibut and big lingcod and big rock cod. Or maybe you shoot out to deep water and you do the black gill not black gill, but black cod. Yeah. And that's a day. And then you do it again the next day. And then you do it again the next day. Like it's a really, really cool trip.
Spectacular scenery. Sitka's super easy to get through, get to. Lots of flights going into Sitka, and the lodge itself is ultra comfortable, and the food is insane. And
there's no like small plane transfer weight limit bag. You're flying directly from the airport right into Sitka, and it's just that killer thing. I mean, as soon as you land, there's one of the guys or gals from the lodge holding up a sign for Kingfisher, and it is just and you're taken care of after
10 minutes away from the airport.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. So if you want to go, kingfishercharters.com, just give them a call in the office there and say, I want to go on that Let's Talk Hookup trip. Sign me up.
Come fishing with me, man. Let's do it.
It's going to be a great one. It's mid-June, June 15th, I believe.
I think we leave on Father's Day.
Leave on Father's Day. So take your dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
That would be cool. So kingfishercharters.com. You can link that right through the Let's Talk Hookup website, letstalkhookup.com. Just click on the Kingfisher banner or just give them a call in the office.
There it is. Maybe we can get Marcos from Seaforth to go
Maybe
fish
Marcos
these
would
times.
go.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of Marcos from Seaforth, it's time for the Catchport, which today is sponsored by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. A complete deli, beverages, boating supplies, as well as San Diego's most complete saltwater tackle shop. Also, check out East County Bait and Tackle and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with the best in both freshwater and saltwater tackle, along with live bait. Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. ECBT, they're at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview and Lakeside. And Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, they're on Broadway and Lemon Grove. Check danalanding.com for more info. And we got him. Marcos from C4 Sport Fishing is standing by. Good morning, Marcos.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great this morning. Good morning.
Morning, Marcos.
I mean, if you can get me an all expenses paid vacation, get my time off, I'll take you up on that.
Okay, I'll see what I can do, buddy. I'll put in the best word I got.
Yeah, pull some strings for me.
Gotcha.
If you can't make it up to Alaska, though, there's some good fishing locally. The new Seaforth fishing on those half days, kind of what we've seen over the last, I guess, couple months now. Whitefish, sculpin. They actually saw a little bit of sand bass, the last couple of days here. A little bit of weather rolling through there, which is kind of normal for that February time. Besides the half day, we've had those 1.5-day trips out there last weekend. Good on both boats. We had a 1.5-day on the Tribute, and the Pacific Voyager had a 2.5-day. They loaded up on rockfish, reds, whitefish, lingcod, great fishing all around there. That Tribute's got those 1.5-day trips scheduled on the weekend through the month here. Got 2.5-day at the end of the month on the Pacific Voyager there. So definitely check the website. Got all our trips up there, half days, the 1.5 day, some longer trips. And I know a lot of people have probably been waiting for this. The San Diego has their full day Coronado Island trip scheduled starting the 15th of this month. So a couple weeks from today, they'll be going back out there. So like I said, definitely check the website to make your reservations online. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Come down, visit us in person. Get your gear tuned up because the season's definitely about to get started.
That's a good call, Marcos. And that is exactly it, man. The season is around the corner. You can feel it with the, some good weather. Once we get through this little bit here, we got a little bit of a little funkiness, but we'll get right back to that good weather. And man, I feel like there's going to be one of those 1.5-day Seaforth exploratory trips. Polaris Supreme always finds that fish early. Like you can just feel it in the air that it's about to be happening.
Oh yeah. It's March 1st. Come on.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
It is March 1st.
Yeah. How about that? Hey, Marcos, appreciate that report. Great job. And we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Talk to you then, guys.
See you, Marcos.
Right. Thanks.
All right. Hey, with that said, we've got a special little bonus catch report. We've got our buddy Steve Carson joining us this morning. And I know, Steve, you've been getting in on some of that March early fishing. Good morning.
Well, good morning, guys. It's very weird to be watching you on YouTube Live and talking to you on the radio. So that's a new experience. But I'm glad that Marcos mentioned the 2.5 day on the Pacific Voyager because, yes, we did catch 140 lingcod and a whole bunch of nice reds and whatnot. But much more important, we saw, and I emphasize saw and not caught, massive schools of bluefin tuna heading north.
Oh, music to my ears, Steve. That's
they were
huge.
headed north too. That's a good thing.
Well, we know what direction their noses were pointed, but we fished. We were roughly in the 110-mile range, kind of in the vicinity of Collinette, because the primary focus was the lingcod and rockfish, but we couldn't help ourselves but go out and do a little bit of looking around. And you know how hard it is when there's only one boat out there to find anything. And we found, in a couple of different locations, big schools, and we got to look at the radar, and it was just ridiculous. And we could certainly see them boiling all around us. We tried all the various lures. We tried trolling. A couple guys even slid anchovies back on 20-pound. Luckily, nobody went full redondo and dropped back the 12-pound with a number 6 or number 8 hook, because they probably would have hooked one, and we could have landed them on that. And most of what we saw seemed to be in the 30-40 pound range. That's what we saw, and I should add, it was so encouraging. We then spent the entire next night, and I know that it was the entire night because I stayed up the entire night looking around for some bigger grade fish. Did not find those, but it's not because we didn't give it a try. I think it was just, we were the only boat out there. Yeah. We weren't in the right exact location. But incredibly encouraging for the season. And I think that once there can be a couple of boats out there kind of figuring out where things are and what's going on, the catches are going to start, and it's going to be an awesome season.
I mean, again, we need to remind ourselves it's March 1st.
March 1st.
That is not a March 1st report. That's crazy, Steve.
That was actually a late February report. I mean, if you think about it. So it couldn't have been better other than, like I say, I stayed up all night and we never saw a thing. Other than that, but it does show my dedication to bluefin tuna fishing.
Good on you, man. You're a better man than I can tell you that much.
You are dedicated.
I would have woke up in the morning and asked Steve how the night went.
Bill Recker, our dear friend Bill Recker,
Sure.
who kind of was my mentor early in these years, 33 years ago, right? He told me, he said, 2 things of advice, Pete. Number 1, never ride home. And number 2, never go on an exploratory trip.
This wasn't really an exploratory trip. This was last year conceived just as a typical February Collinette trip. We were really just hoping for good weather. And by the way, we got the most perfect Chamber of Commerce. I'm pretty sure Doug Kern himself personally ordered this Chamber of Commerce weather. It was just so perfect. And
That's right.
that was what this trip was about. And probably half the anglers on the boat were not really what you would call hardcore tuna anglers.
They were wanting to go rock cod fishing.
Yeah, and you guys did it, boy.
And kind of on a side note, I was very encouraged, and Rick will laugh because Rick knows that I go back to the very core beginnings of slow pitch jigging for rockfish fishing, when everybody was looking at me and going, what are you going to do with that little fishing pole? I think 10, 12 years ago, and nobody else was doing it. Well, people are doing it now.
That's cool.
And that's very, very encouraging too.
Well, what a great trip, Steve. That's awesome. So glad to hear it. Glad to hear the enthusiasm. And boy, I mean, what a better way to finish off limits of lingcod and reds, but with a little tuna action. And I'm sorry you guys didn't put a few more on the deck, but how exciting to know that fish is around and the volume that it is. And we sure appreciate it.
And they're going to bite. At some point, they're going to bite, right? So when are they going to bite, Steve? Come on.
Give us
the encyclopedia.
They're going to bite. Somebody's going to catch one, at least one, on the Saturday of the PCS show when we're all stuck there in that building.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Now
we're looking forward to seeing seeing you guys at the PCS show.
Where are we going to find you, Steve?
Well, I'm going to be in the Penn Reels booth, during most of the day, and then, and I don't know the times offhand, but each day, each of the 4 days, I will be up on stage with. I've got seminars, discussions, call them whatever you want them, with both the Gavin Harbor and Matt Brawler team, and then a never before teamed group seen on stage at the show. Renee Monteagudo of the Shogun and Mike Lackey of the Vagabond on stage at the same time, and I'm going to be moderating. That's going to be something. That one.
That's
wow,
cool.
That's going to be cool. Well, hey, thanks, Steve. Appreciate that call on the trip down there to go find some bluefin. And hey, stay tuned. We have another full hour on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and thanks to Jeff at the Fan for being with us. So stay tuned. We have another full hour on the YouTube and Facebook Live, and also the Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll be right back.
45 years. That's how long we've been right here on Mission Bay, helping friends and family like you discover the joy of sailing, kayaking, and everything life on the water has to offer. I'm Logan from Fastlane Kayaks, and if you ask Ron and Debbie Lane whether 45 years feels like a long time, they'll tell you time flies when you're having fun. You see, the Lanes have followed their passion for a life on the water, and they've made a living inviting others along for the ride. Over the years, the shop has grown and changed, and so have the employees and products inside. From selling catamarans in the 1970s as newlyweds, living in a VW bus in the store parking lot, to being the destination Hobie fishing kayak store they are today, working with their 2 sons and daughter. You might be looking for a new way to enjoy time on the water with your family, or maybe you're looking for a new way to stay active, enjoy nature, explore, and catch a spotted bay bass. Whatever your goals, come visit us in Dana Landing on Mission Bay, and we'll get you geared up and ready to enjoy life on the water.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader for more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
The PCS show is coming, and we will have our best booth at the show. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Check us out in the wildly popular saltwater building at the PCS show in Costa Mesa, where we will have some amazing deals for you on rods, reels, lures, and clothing. Everything at the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth will be on sale. And as always, our expert staff will help you select that perfect setup for the fish you want to pursue. For saltwater tackle at the PCS show, your best stop is the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine is here. We're talking Yamaha, we're talking Parker, we're talking Camus, and a whole bunch more, sales, service, and of course, we're talking the PCS show, which comes up this Thursday through Sunday at the Orange County Fairgrounds right there in Costa Mesa, like about a few feet away from Nick's shop there, a few hundred yards, a couple football passes, I would say, right?
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's really right there. And having a great time talking fishing, taking your text and giving away a phenomenal prize to one lucky texter or a caller from the previous hour.
Boy, you're not kidding about that. How about this? One lucky caller or texter today is going to win a full-day trip on board the San Diego from C4 Sport Fishing. And you're going to get 2 Michael Seawald signed photographs from Seawald's Gallery in Encinitas. Plus, you're going to get 2 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa this Thursday through Sunday. A killer prize pack for one lucky caller, or could be a texter from this hour, man. Lots of really good stuff. If you want to send us a text here in the second hour, the only way to do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. Just make sure when you fire off the Let's Talk Hookup app, one of the first things you'll see is the text the show button. Click that. Make sure you include your phone number and who you are. And if you're the lucky winner of the coin flip, you're going to get all that great stuff. The trip out of Seaforth. There's 2 signed great photos from Michael Seawald and 2 tickets to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great stuff coming through here. If you want to text us, of course, only through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Nick, so you've sold a lot of boats over the years, and what's your favorite boat that you've ever sold? I mean, there's a lot of boats, and I know you do a lot of rigging. I mean, like, give us the kind of the description of the boat that went out the door, and you went, man, we're proud of that. We're proud of that one.
Like killer tower,
like all the rigging and stuff, because you do all that custom rigging right there too.
Right.
Electronics,
some
the whole
beautiful boats that have left, and it's everyone's kind of different because everybody puts their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Whether it's extra rocket launchers in the tower and the rod holders, powder coating stuff, black or whatever it might be. I think personally my favorite boat was my 2520 that I had, and I put a tower on it. I got together with Fishing Boats Unlimited and rigged this tower up and had full Helmmaster joystick, autopilot, the whole deal, gator step on the floor, came out really nice, bait tank, the whole deal. And that boat, I had numerous boats that I've kind of bought and sold, and that was, I think, all around my favorite boat. Whether it was fishing with the kids, or just even doing like a bay cruise on it, it just did everything really well.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was perfect for the way we were fishing and using that boat at the time. And I wish I had that boat back.
That's cool. That's cool. But you could make another one.
Yeah, I could do another one. That one, I just like that one. We had some good days on that.
That's
boat.
really cool.
For sure. Well, hey, time for the catch report.
You got it, man.
Continuing on with it.
We are going to continue on with our fishdope.com report. We got Captain Mark Wish standing by this morning. It's sponsored in part by Gamakatsu. They have an amazing show deal for you. You can buy any 2 packs of Gamakatsu hooks at participating dealers at the PCS show, and you get one for free. That in itself is an amazing deal. But get this. Purchase $30 in Gamakatsu products at the show, and you're going to get a free pair of Gamakatsu pliers and a cinch bag. The show deal is available at Turner's Outdoorsman, Performance Tackle, and Island Tackle. Stop by the Gamakatsu booth for more details. Find out about that great,
phenomenal
giveaway from Gamakatsu.
Yeah.
And that's already at the killer show prices. Like, you're getting all that. It's just awesome. Those guys just always do it right. No doubt about it. Hey, with that, we're going to find out what's going on. Our fishdope.com reporter, Captain Mark Wish, is standing by. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Pete, Nick. Great show. Love hearing all that boat stuff. Man, I love my Parker for all the years I had that, and that's the one that I wish I had never sold.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah, I
but hey,
remember
guys.
that boat. That was like, I thought Nick was going to talk about. Hey, it was that one that I rigged for Mark Wish. That was really a cool boat. I remember that boat. That was a cool boat.
Yeah, a lot of fish died on that boat, I tell you. But anyway, our more than a few. Our stretch of nice weather has come to an end for a bit. Sadly, we didn't get much exciting out of it in terms of stuff to catch. You know, I hoped the guys would get out and look around the outside and find something more exotic. But as far as I know, it didn't happen. But anyway, locally, kind of the same program: sand bass, sculpin, whitefish on the structure spots. No exotics yet at all. Best news has still been that healthy sprinkle of halibuts around. You know, there's been some nice ones from Santa Monica Bay. Of course, right out here in front here, Long Beach, San Pedro zone. That's kind of been the most productive area. And then below Dana, down in that San Mateo zone. So the other day, we had a customer in, a regular Let's Talk Hookup listener. I think it was Chuck from Dana Point, if I remember right. Anyway, he was telling me he's been fishing the boats down there, and he's telling me how those Dana guys on the smaller boats can get up there really shallow, right on the sand spots in between the surf grass and like 12 to 15, 18 feet of water like that. And that reminded me about something from way, way, way back. I'm talking way back when I was a kid. We had a family boat there in the water in Huntington Harbor. We were fishing all the time at this time of year, early spring to late spring. And if you looked at that area between the Alamedas Bay jetties up towards Belmont Pier, that's all flat sand beach in there. And it's nice because of the outer breakwater there's no swell, it's flat calm. And right outside the buoy line, this time of year again, there'd be hundreds of boats fishing the halibut. There was a lot of halibuts back then. And, you know, a lot of that fish were small. I don't even think there was a limit back then, so I can't say short, but a lot of smaller ones. But there were some really nice ones in there too. And again, it's this time of year, and it might be something for you guys to check out when you're looking for different areas to fish. You know, maybe some of that stuff, instead of being out there in 80 to 100 feet out in front of Long Beach, you might try some of those shallow areas for something a little different. Over at Catalina, lots of squid around still. I had customers the other day. They ran up towards Freddy's Beach there, slowed down, put the light out. They were still getting the crowder out when they had a full float, 2 whacks with a crowder, and 5 minutes of being stopped, and they were completely done. There's this tonnage of squid around the island right now. Yeah, unfortunately, though, they just didn't get much to go along with it. There's been, you know, that halibut fishing over there all winter. You know, it's been really pretty darn good, and it seems like it's backed off a little bit. Maybe the fish taking a little break, or maybe they moved, or maybe they caught them all or something. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like this week it was quite as good as it's been. Heard nothing at all about sea bass, which is very strange for this time of year. They're usually starting to get rolling. So with the bit of weather we got coming here this week, it definitely looks to be pretty lumpy bumpy on the outside there. And with the show coming, probably not going to have quite the coverage. And then by the time the show's over, the weather straightens out, and it's going to be game on, and it'll be time to go fishing, guys.
I love it, man.
Yeah, like that. And of course, fishdope.com, $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code hookup now, lowercase, no space, $30 off that new membership to fishdope.com. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, P, we're in Huntington Beach, and the shop's on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And the phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And, man, it's going to be fun to go up and see all you guys at the show here in a few days, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're really excited, Mark. Well, a great report as always. Sure appreciate everything you do. And, boy, the show's another great time to keep up with what's going on with Fish Dope.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be there.
All right, Mark. We'll appreciate that very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, you got it, guys. We'll see you.
All right.
Thanks a lot for that.
That wraps up our catch report.
You got it, man. Today is sponsored in part by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure you make those reservations today.
Yeah, for sure. John in Mira Mesa says, Nick, do you service repair other brands of outboards besides Yamahas? And if so, is the oldest and what is the oldest and smallest outboard that you can work on? That's an interesting question.
It is. We're sticking with Yamaha right now, and then I'm working on Mercuries that I sell on the Camus boats and their bass boats.
Yeah.
So
you're working on the ones that the Mercuries that you sell.
Yeah,
but
doing
not
like
outside
warranty work. Yeah, not outside Mercs or anything older.
But any Yamaha.
Any Yamaha, they're
how old?
God, well, the Yamaha came here in '84, so there's some old 2-strokes out there still that we'll tinker around with. The HPDIs we're starting to move away from. They just have too many problems, and once ethanol was introduced into the fuel, like it's really hard to keep those running.
Yeah.
So I kind of play it by ear. I kind of listen to the customer and what his problem might be, and try to point him in a direction and say, hey, we can fix this, but it might not be 100%. These are things you want to look out for. If it's a 25-year-old motor, I mean, nobody keeps their car for that long anymore. So you might have to think about starting to repower that kind of stuff.
So if somebody's looking for a used boat, there's still some boats around with HPDI motors. You would advise against getting that boat because that motor's not going to work well with the ethanol fuel in California.
I would take it on a sea trial. If it runs great, it runs great. Just know that you're on a time frame, and if you do buy that boat, the price is probably amazing, but just know that, or call me, or just ask at the boat show or something like that, how much is a repower? What am I looking at if I lose one? Can I get a new block for this thing, a new lower unit?
Because a lot of these things, because it'll eat it up.
A lot of these older motors, like, they're not really supported anymore. So if you blow a lower unit, I can't get one.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Or you can't get another block for those things. So they're, Yamaha and other manufacturers, if the thing's 25 years old, they're not really interested in supporting it for that long, because they're moving on to a lot of the newer stuff. So it's just going to be harder to keep those things running.
So maybe a good advice for somebody out there looking at a used boat, especially a used Yamaha, is call Nick and say, hey, do you guys still service this engine?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's easy phone call. Just ask, I'll tell you my opinion and what I've seen out there. In short, I think anything like 2008 and newer is pretty solid.
Okay, 2008 or newer. And that's kind of when the 4-stroke market started going.
Yeah, there was a 225 market in the early 2000s. I'd probably stay away from. But again, just call and I'll tell you what it really is.
Yeah.
Tell you what you're looking at.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have an old 3-horse Yamaha in my garage I use for like a little dinghy or something like that.
That thing will go forever.
And the nice thing about it is it's super lightweight, right?
I have one too.
Right.
I still have
it's
that.
a great little motor.
They're the best.
But it won't break. Don't break it because you can't get parts, right?
Exactly. You'd be buying a new motor, but those things are hard to destroy.
Yeah, they're hard to destroy.
But you won't need to worry about it because it'll run forever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway, I had a great text come through. It says, good morning. And I think we'll all know who this is. Good morning, Nick, Pete, and Rick. Best dealer and friendly, informative staff. Come by the PCS show and see my Camus 26 HB, which is for sale right now. Come talk to Nick and Kyle at the show and drive home with that Camus 26 HB powered with a Mercury 400 Verado with a new Minn Kota humming motor and full Hummingbird electronics. And I think we all know who that's coming from.
Benny Florentino.
You got it, buddy.
Coastal Charters.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing you at the show, Benny.
Yeah,
and
Benny.
Like I said, I've said it before, like Wyatt, my boy's favorite part about going to any of these shows is crawling around every boat and honking horns and lifting hatches. And I'm sure we'll be all over Benny's boat at the West Coast Marine booth. That's
Please
for sure.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bruce in Lemon Grove has a question. It says, good morning. I'm doing annual boat maintenance, and my question is regarding fuel tank and about half empty fuel. Should I fill it up and add fuel additive to it, or remove the fuel? It's about 3 months old.
I'd fill it and put additive.
Yeah.
3
months isn't that bad.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right on the edge there, but well within the limit. So just fill it, add stabilizer or something like that, or just go use the boat.
Yeah. What if your fuel's a year old?
I would test it, pull some out, maybe try to pull a few gallons out and check it and look at it. Check your fuel water separator in the boat, dump it out, make sure there's nothing in there, probably put a new one on. And then if it's bad, then we have contacts who can remove that. Actually, he's down here, the fuel polishing guy.
The fuel polishing guy.
Yeah, he's mobile
great.
and he comes around, does it. It's not cheap, but neither is wrecking a motor with bad fuel.
Bad fuel system problems.
How do you know? How do you test fuel?
I think they have kits you can buy on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Or you can.
And what are you
it.
testing for?
Octane, ethanol levels, and octane. Yeah.
And it'll tell you whether it's bad or not.
And if you pull it out, that pickup tube is coming from the bottom of the tank where all that ethanol and moisture would be sitting. So if you can, take your prime bulb from the boat and maybe unplug a hose, take a couple of gallons out, just look at it, check that fuel water separator because it's going to collect there. And I would just check it, especially if it's a year old, 6 months to a year old. Yeah.
If you're in Bruce's category, would you put a stabilizer in? Would you an octane boost? Is there things that have both of those in it?
I don't think you necessarily need to do an octane boost. Maybe add a premium fuel that'll maintain the octane a little bit better. And then in the Yamaha's world, they make like a ring free plus additive that helps coats piston rings and valves and things like that, but it's also a fuel additive, and that stuff works great.
Cool.
Yeah, but definitely, turning over fuel is probably the most important part of owning a Yamaha or any engine.
I've heard both ways. What's your opinion on the best way to store the boat? Fuel tank full, fuel tank empty. The people talk about condensation. Other people talk about no room for but then you run into the same situation that Bruce in. You got a lot of fuel that potentially sit. What's the best way to store?
I don't know if I have the exact answer. Me personally now, I'm going full and treated and trying to turn that fuel over. I don't store fuel. You got to turn it over. It's been back and forth.
So don't store it with a full tank. Then
I store it with a full tank.
With a full tank,
maybe premium fuel if I know it's going to sit for 3-6 months or something like that. Maybe some higher octane fuel, premium with that additive should maintain that just fine.
Gotcha.
But I've been back and forth on this. I've done it empty. I've done it full.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The best move is to use your boat and not worry about the storage.
Just use the boat.
Yeah.
So if like I've heard the recommendation, it's every time you fill, you should put a fuel additive like Yamaha ring free. Is that right?
Yeah, Yamaha sells that ring free just for that purpose, and that ring free is.
So when you put fuel in, just put a thing of ring.
Yeah, ring free is 1 ounce for every 10 gallons.
Yeah,
and you can buy like a 12 ounce or a whatever else they have the bottles, then you can add it.
Yeah,
1 ounce for every 10 gallons.
So if you have a 120 gallon fuel tank and you put 120 gallons in, just put the whole bottle in.
Yep, 12 ounce bottle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's like every time you fill up.
Yep.
And what does that do?
Their additive is supposed to coat piston rings and the cylinder walls, valves, keep everything lubricated really well. It works really well along with their oil, and then it's also a stabilizer, so it maintains that. It helps prevent ethanol forming in the tank.
My friend Chris Barrick, famous Calico Bass guy, now lives in Los Barriles down in the south.
Best.
But he does his own work on his Yamaha, and he's a diehard believer in ring free because when he opens it up, he says you would not believe the difference of how good the motor looks when you use ring free.
Yes, I've seen it work. I've seen we take a compression check on a motor to check how good the block is, and I've had a bad compression on a block, still ran okay. Did a shock treatment of ring free and ran it for 20 hours and did a compression again, and it helped it.
Get out of here!
More
really?
Compression. I was like, oh, okay, so it's doing something and it does work.
Huh, that's cool.
What's a shock treatment of ring free?
It was many ounces per gallon. I brought a little portable 3-gallon tank and took the fuel system from the boat out of the equation. Hooked up my little portable tank with a 12-ounce bottle and 3 gallons and just ran it hard. And it was just blowing carbon out.
Yeah.
And that's all it was doing was just cleaning it up. And it bounced back and it came back
really
to
cool.
be a good motor. Yeah.
Wow. And you didn't have to go out and clean the fuel. It just ran through.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate that I just keep firing question after question.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of great texts.
But I have one of my own that I really want to do. And I talked about it before. Neil and I on our Parker 25 are really wanting to go the lithium battery route this year for like our house batteries and, screens and microwaves and bait tanks and everything like that. But I know Yamaha still likes to have a traditional lead acid, a standard marine battery for starting. Are you starting to see any rigging with lithium? You got any? Is that world starting to become popular enough now where you've got some insight on what we should do, what we shouldn't? Do you make sure you keep the Yamaha happy with the regular starting battery? Do you not? Where do we need to go?
I think I'm still doing a separate battery for the Yamaha to make sure it's lead acid or gel, and just keep that system separated. So all your Yamaha equipment would be on that battery, and then your house you can certainly do a lithium.
Easy to separate.
Easy to separate.
Yeah.
I think Norsk and those guys, I think they have, and I don't know what it's called, but where that Yamaha would be able to input their power and then go to a lithium battery, but it's through like a conversion box of sorts. I forget what it's called, but I know there's stuff out there that you can make it work.
So like the alternator that's giving power will also power up the house batteries, not just it's
because Yamaha generates power under the flywheel by like a lot of coils.
Okay.
Where some of the other manufacturers are like your car and it's an actual alternator, and those can support lithium batteries. The way Yamaha's set up right now, I'm sure they're going to get there because they're going to have to, but it kind of freaks them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that before, that the technology is probably fine, but Yamaha is so cautious in making sure that they're not putting out something that isn't perfect, that it's easier to just say, nope, this is how it is. We know this is perfect. We're not going to take a chance at you putting something on this motor is going to cause issue. It's easier to just say like, this is what we're doing. We know this is right. We're not going to take a chance on anything else.
Yeah. I mean, for a long time, they wouldn't even support like a gel battery.
Right.
It was all lead acid. And so they're very cautious, which I can appreciate.
Sure. No, I get it.
It's
Especially
just
being on the service side.
I mean, they are very reliable.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. If you hook up one of those Norse systems, are you going to avoid your Yamaha warranty?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to research that.
Yeah. Until they clear it.
I mean, they're going to want to know, now everybody with warranty wants pictures,
I'm sure,
evidence of how the boat's set up. So it's getting to be more of this process to submit warranty. So they're going to ask if your voltage regulator on your motor is fried and that thing's smoked. They're going to be like, well, what's the battery system like? And you're like, oh, well, wasn't what you wanted.
Yeah. So just make sure you follow manufacturer's specs.
Yes.
Before you hook stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lesson. You have a good text, huh?
I thought so. It says, good morning, guys. I have a 2016 Yamaha 300. And my question is, does anyone service lower units anymore? It seems like the move is only to replace them these days. Do you have a mechanic that can take them apart, see what's wrong, and service and repair them as needed? That's from Doug in Claremont.
Yeah, a lot of us are not, unpacking lower units and gear cases and repacking them. It depends on how bad the damage is. 2016, so we're at 11-year-old motor, and with experience of opening those things, once you take that bearing carrier out of that lower unit housing, you end up breaking a lot of things. You end up chipping the housing. There's the way you pull it out is just not friendly. And so I always educate the customers, like, I will pull this apart. If we can repack it, we can do it. But more oftentimes than not, especially on engines that are like his 11 years old, I mean, that's been running in salt water, and it's not like going to Yamaha school where everything comes apart nicely.
Right.
It's a lot of heat. You're burning all the seals when you do that to pull a bearing carrier out. And then if the inside is smoked and it's caused scoring on the housing of the lower unit, then you're repacking with all these brand new parts. The margin for error on a human to repack that is a lot higher than buying a new one. And the cost may be, even if it's $500, $1,000 difference, to get a 1-year warranty on a brand new lower unit just seems, it makes me sleep a little bit better knowing that I didn't pack this thing and you go out the next day and break it. Then I got to do this all over again.
We were in that exact scenario with our previous motor, which we got thousands of hours out of, and we eventually ran through a lower unit. No harm, no foul. It went far after its life expectancy was. We were really happy, but our difference in cost was under $400. It was $300 and high change to replace all the parts or to just put a brand new one on. And for thousands of hours and $300 difference, it was just, like you said, no doubt to just go new. And the time of repair was an issue too. A new lower unit was like 4 bolts and we were back in the water again. The amount of labor and time to try to get through what was still an old lower unit, same for us, was just it was a no question.
Yeah. And I like to turn these jobs over fast, and it'd take me a couple days to repack one of those and get it right. and to sell a new lower unit, I'll just discount the heck out of it, get you back on the water. Let's keep this thing going. Now I know you're not going to call me for a while because that thing's perfect.
Yeah, that's it.
I like to sleep easy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hey, Bob in Huntington Beach, your neck of the woods there, says, good morning, guys. Another great show. I have a Parker 2520 with a small tuna tower here in Huntington Harbor. I love that boat and the way it's rigged. But Nick, can you at West Coast do something with the inside of the pilot house? The design of the seating and the cushions, we're always losing things in the cabin. I'm not quite sure what he means, but
I guess
can you change?
possible.
Can you change that?
I don't change the layout of the inside of the cabins very often. I don't really want to get into carpentry or anything like that. But certainly there are fiberglass guys or people making boxes, changing up seating, ordering things online, doing all kinds of crazy custom stuff. I'd stay away from that kind of mods just because I've got enough to do.
Yeah, you've got enough to do. But I'm going to make a suggestion to you, Bob. Call Mark Wish at Pacific Edge, and his buddy. He did so many custom things in his boat. I don't know if you ever saw his boat. He did like some amazing custom rigging and stuff. And he's got a buddy that'll do some custom starboard rigging in there that'll blow your mind.
Do you remember that bench that had like the little fold up that turned the bench into long enough that somebody could sleep on and make an extra bunk out of it? I loved that. I thought that was such a
good idea.
move. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It took that long bench. It was plenty fine, and then all of a sudden it became an extra bed. So you weren't. Yeah, that was cool.
So
that was a very cool rig boat.
Yeah, for sure. So call Mark and he'll dial you in on that.
I love that. That's one of my favorite part about Parkers is like seeing all the different things that people screw to them and glue to them and make them your own. Just like you said, that was your favorite boat for that reason. All the things you added to it made it that way. Hey, well, I had a great text come through. It says, this question is for Nick. I was curious as far as financing on boats go. We're in the market. We're going to PCS show. What are the lengths of loans that are typically offered? That's from Brad in San Diego.
It's a good question. We source our financing. I don't do anything financing in-house. Just don't have the capacity or can't hire another person to do that full time. Then we go through Tom at Sea Dreams.
Good guy.
Most of the time he's right down the street. So anybody looking at a boat can just drive on by, go to Tom. He'll be probably running around PCS this week as well.
Are there some pretty good rates now on? I mean,
it's a lot better.
There are no good rates.
It's a lot better than it was.
Better than it was.
I don't want to say. I'll have to talk to Tom this week. He's going to give me a printout on the different models of boats we have and what you could expect as far as a financing rate.
Gotcha.
And so I expect to get that before the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you'll have that.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I have a good one here from Joe in San Diego, and he says, "Love listening to the show every week. Question: can you use the ring free on a Suzuki outboard or other brands of motors?"
I'm sure you could, but I maybe talk to Suzuki about that. I don't want to get out of turn here.
And there's lots of other fuel additives like a liquid moly,
Tons
and
of them,
I mean, there's a ton of fuel additives.
You can go to O'Reilly's and they have a whole shelf of stuff.
Yeah. And probably all of them would work, but you definitely want to check with the manufacturer.
The ones I know 100% are the ones the manufacturer sells.
Yeah. If you add another brand into a Yamaha fuel tank, are you voiding your warranty? Are they going to test your fuel if there's a warranty issue?
Probably not. No,
probably not.
Never had that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're probably okay.
I think those fuel additives, I think they do work. So anything's better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Chevron has one. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah. Chevron adds Techron and Shell has whatever they have.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I had another great text come through. It's a little bit of a long one, but I thought was right for what's coming up with the show. This is a great show, guys. I love the variety and knowledge of levels, Pete, that you bring to Let's Talk Hookup every week. And this is a great one with Nick. I'm a lifetime boat guy and seriously looking at purchasing a new Parker boat. I would like a boat that can be easily trailerable, but offers some weather protection for offshore day trips. Can you provide a few recommendations and options that I'll be able to view at your booth at the upcoming PCS show? Also, are there various power options between outboards and inboard options? What are the main advantages of going with either of those power options? That's from Dan and Pomona.
Last part of that question, we're just outboards. Couldn't tell you much about inboards. And gosh, we'll have the 2820 cabin boat, 2520 cabin boat. 28 comes with twin 300s. 25 comes with twin 200s. You can put different engine packages on those boats if you wanted to. 28, you can put twin 250s. 25, you can put twin 150s. That 2420 is a good bang for the buck, and you can get that with a single 300, twin 150s, or twin 200s.
Wow.
I'm ordering that boat, and I'll get that boat here, and it'll have twin 200s.
Now, what's the advantage of having twins versus what?
I guess if you had an issue out there, you could always get back a little bit quicker than, say, like the 2320 Parker with a single 300 and a kicker motor. If your big engine goes out, you're not moving very fast back home. So having twins, I guess you got peace of mind.
Redundancy.
I think the boat also, I had a boat with twins, and it's more stable too. It seems like it runs more true.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And you don't get as much prop factor in that. So
Yeah.
autopilots have an easier time on a twin engine package. Yeah, and I think it's just reliability and making sure you're getting home. And everybody, it seems to generally want to go with twins now. That's why they built that 2420, and the twin package has been so popular, because the one thing about the 23, although it's like a killer boat, and we sold a ton of those, and it's awesome. Everybody was like, "Oh God, this boat would be great with like twin 150s," or "I'm kind of nervous about going way out there with just a single motor." Now that 24 comes in, and you can get that boat with the twins.
That's cool.
Okay.
Hey, I had a fun text. It says, "Good morning. This is Kathy from Placentia. I love the show. My question is, what is the ideal boat size for fishing Catalina Island for like weekend camp trips? Also, could you recommend your electronics, your preferred electronics and motor package?"
I think Camis's new 44-foot cat is going to be
Yeah.
the perfect.
Ooh, man.
Get that ride down to Catalina about 25 minutes.
I mean, gosh, from our coast to Catalina up in say, Huntington to Newport, Huntington, and Long Beach. I mean, you can get over there in a little 18-foot Parker, and that comes with a little single axle trailer, easy to store, easy to run, super fuel efficient. I think it just kind of comes down to how you want to fish and who's going with you is what it really comes down to.
You boat camping, you fishing for the afternoon, you going with 4 people, you going with 2 people, you know, you want room for the family and all their gear. It's just 3 buds that just have tackle boxes and, and a duffel bag.
There's a lot going in there. So it'd be nice to get to the show and just compare that 24, 25, 28, model. Because, you get a 28, if you're going to keep it on a trailer, you got to get a bigger truck.
Yeah.
The 24, you can tow it with a, light duty truck. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Keeping it in the water, you put it in.
You can tow a 24 with a light duty truck.
Yeah.
Like you're talking like a Ford Ranger or something like that?
Like an F-150.
Like an F-150.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you're talking about light duty is not like a non-250 or a 350 or something.
Yes, that would be
be in your eyes. Not
yes.
So can you tow the triple axle 25 with a F-150?
I'm sure it's rated. Those
It's
F-150s
rated,
have
up to 7,500. Yeah.
Man,
I think it's braking power, so I'd probably suggest going bigger.
I know I tow R25 with a 3/4 ton diesel, and it's the right truck for it, but it's still a lot of boat. You know what I mean? I have both. I have a 250 and an F-150, and I drive F-150 to work, and I have a 3/4 ton diesel truck that I tow the boat with, and I think it could do it, but I don't think
I wouldn't do it personally.
I've towed my boat to West Coast Marine many times and have been fine, but I've never thought like, man, I wish I had a little bit less truck behind me.
Never said
right
that.
now. Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming right, including more of your phone calls and texts. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice. We're on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
This year, make reliable boating your resolution and back it with exhilarating deals with a new Yamaha outboard during Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection. Looking to hit the water with lower horsepower? There's a deal for you too. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $200 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods and services. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2025, subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24-month Yamaha extended service added to a 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealer for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
PCS show has such a great deal on Shimano. Shimano's going to have a phenomenal booth at the PCS show. Benny Ortiz will be there, Benny Florentino, and a whole bunch more.
Yeah, it's just so cool to get to go talk to the guys and learn all of the specs about all the new models before you go to do your purchase. And it's very hands-on. They'll have all the gear available for you to touch. And, you can decide whether you want to go Speedmaster or Italica, or whether the jump is right to go from Corrado to Tranks, or, if you're looking at spinning reels, which a lot of people are, you can see the difference between Saragossa and Twin Power and Stella.
Put your hands on the new Talica.
That's what it's all
Talica
about.
A and everything else. Check it out at the Shimano booth at this week's PCS show. You don't want to miss it.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check powerpro.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, Elgato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here with Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine, talking fishing, talking Parker boats, Camus boats, Yamahas, Repowers. Today's been an awesome show.
Yeah, it has been an awesome show. And you want to ask a question to Nick, just simply text the show. Go to the Let's Talk Hookup app. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, of course, you can just jump onto the app and text the app. And you can, of course, listen to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. And I've got a good one here. So let me bring it back up here. Where was it? Okay, so great show. And this is from DJ in San Diego. Great show. We look forward to seeing you in person at the show. We have a 26-foot twin V cat with two Yamaha 150s and are looking to repower. Any thought on whether it makes sense to replace them with 150s or go up a size?
Again, I'd probably look at the horsepower rating on the boat just to make sure you can.
Yeah.
But obviously maxing out horsepower is way more fun than not.
Yeah, exactly.
But not to say that, again, there's more to that than that. There's different styles of motor. Again, that electric steering I was going back to. So there's different ways we can quote that and make sure that it's in your ballpark and for price wise.
You're pretty intimately familiar with all those motors, and it seems like several of them, and I don't want to say which because I don't know, but 115, 150, 175, a lot of them are based on the same motor, but have whether it be timing differences, fuel differences that make the higher horsepower ratings. Is it always better to have a higher horsepower motor that just isn't having to work as hard if the boat will allow for it? Or are there differences in reliability? Is the souped up higher horsepower not going to last as long as the same block that's only a 115? Like, where do you fall in that?
I've always liked the higher horsepower and bringing RPMs down.
Yeah.
But when you get to, let's say it's the 150, 175, and 200 block, those are all the same blocks, but the 200 adds variable cam timing. So you are adding another mechanical piece to the equation. Yeah. Again, coming from Yamaha, never had a problem with that. So, I would say it's still as good as that 150, but that 150 is bulletproof,
legitimately
and it
bulletproof.
Has been forever.
Yeah.
So what would be the next level that he'd go with on that from
they
the
off that 175 or 200?
175 or 200.
Yeah.
Now that 200 that's the inline 4 200.
Correct.
Super efficient.
Very efficient. It's got that variable cam timing, a little bit more torque. carries a good load. So
which way would you go if his? Let's say if his twin V26 will take a 200, would you go 200?
Oh yeah, I think so
for sure.
And then it's just where do you feel comfortable? What kind of money do you spend? You know, you got to feel comfortable with what you want to spend because we can keep it on the less expensive side or all that latest and greatest stuff I was talking about. You can go to that,
and you can conceivably run the boat, you know, at 20% less of a load on the motor, but still get the same performance because you've got more horsepower behind you.
Yeah, there's no bad option here.
Yeah, exactly.
No
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
option.
I say the same thing. If you're in the position of Repower, God, it is just, there's nothing like having the hassle of dealing with your motor and keeping it running. And then you go to West Coast and you get that brand new motor put on and you just back the boat down and you turn the key and you go and you don't think twice about anything. It is so nice.
Everybody says the same thing. Every Repower. I should have done this a long time ago. Every time.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up as a kid working on boats and, you know, like that was the part of the deal. Friday after work was making sure that the motor was ready and running and not going to give you any problems. And then graduating to the first Yamaha where you just where you take that equation out of it was just so nice. There's no warming up the motor before you left the house in the morning. You don't even think about it. It's Yamaha reliability. It's what they talk about.
Yeah, it's the best.
It is the
best.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about it.
So nice.
And then the other factor too is, you know, a lot of people say like to say less is more, not necessarily in horsepower on a boat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes more is better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
If the boat will take it, if the boat's rated for that.
Correct. Yeah, it just comes down to the insurance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if the boat's rated for it, the insurance will cover it.
Yep. And then you can call your insurance provider and just make sure that what you are doing falls within their, you know, what they can cover.
Within their guidelines.
Yes, because we all know that insurance companies are trying to not pay out right now.
Yeah.
So be very careful with that.
Good call.
Yeah. So make sure you call and say, hey, will my insurance cover an upgrade to a 200 horsepower motor?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a boat that on paper is a 25-year-old boat and is only worth X amount of dollars. Well, I'm putting tens of thousands of dollars of investment into this brand new killer motor. I want to make sure that I'm covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Hey, I had a fun text come through. Speaking of motors, and this was a curious again because I know how intimately familiar Nick is with these. It says like new gas autos, cars, the engine compartments are so complicated nowadays that you just close the hood and scratch your head. My question is for the new outboards. Nick, are they the same way? Is new technology making them easier to work on from a technician's point of view, or is it all laptop and scratch your head and call Nick?
It's a little bit, it's becoming a little bit more of laptop, but the engines are relatively the same. I mean, they have the same charging, the same sensors on the motors. You know, it works the same as it always has, really. What we're seeing with problems on boats and using the laptop more and the software from Yamaha is more or less communication errors from the engines to the throttle or the electric steering components. We're just adding a lot more equipment. It requires a lot more battery power. And so you get these harnesses that are connecting. You have to do it the right way and make sure they're all connected together from Yamaha spec. So the laptop more or less helps you with those communication problems from engine to all those systems. On the engine side of things, the motor's the motor. They haven't added more sensors to these things. They're all the same and has been for many years. So that's pretty familiar still. It's just what they're doing next is all that boat stuff, that integrated boat system.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
hey, Let's Talk Hookup is back in the showbiz.
you
We're going to have a booth at the PCS show. Tommy P, Dave Dolan, and Wayne Cotto, and Dan will be helping me man the booth. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Sunday because I have to come back down here and do the radio show. But we'll be talking, of course, about a lot about the PCS show next Saturday and Sunday. A couple of great guests next Saturday and Sunday too. Ron Lane from Fast Lane Kayaks, along with his son, Mr. Salty Crew.
Hey, all right, Jared.
Jared's
Cool.
going to be here. And then Sunday, Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star. So that's next weekend. That's going to be a couple great shows next weekend. Corey will be here in the studio with me next weekend too. So that'll be great. While Rick's up selling tackle.
I was instantly thinking like, man, I didn't say anything. I should probably make sure. Yeah, good call. Got my back.
But we got you covered. But in our booth, we're gonna have hats for sale. $15 for a Let's Talk Hookup hat. So a real bargain show price on the Let's Talk Hookup hats. So, and then the biggest thing we're going to be doing is doing a fundraiser for Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea. And super good deal. $10 for a ticket. You get 3 for $20, and you get if you buy 20 for $100, you get a Gamakatsu duffel bag.
How cool is that?
Gamakatsu duffel bag's super cool. And you're going to be able to be in the drawing for a Talica 12 2-speed, a Torium 20, pair of Costa sunglasses, and a 2-day trip in April on the Polaris Supreme.
So rad,
That's what's up for grabs for that. And we will be, it's only what we sell at the PCS show. So just during that 4 days. And of course, 100% of the money goes to taking kids fishing at Captain's Rollo Kids at Sea.
Great move, Pete.
Yeah, well, no, I got to credit Tommy and Wayne for that. They are the guys that put it together.
Yeah, that's a good call, you guys.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool. I love that.
they did it. So that's going to be what's going to happen in the Let's Talk Hookup booth, along with we'll have a brand new sticker too.
Hey, all right.
If they show up on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, they will be here. I've been told. We have a brand new Let's Talk Hookup sticker, and we have our old stickers too. So come on by and say hi.
Cool. I love it. Well, I had a fun text message come through from Dave in Mission Viejo. It says, great show. I love it when Nick comes on. My question is this year is again for Nick. I think the last time you were on the show, you briefly talked about, and pardon me, because I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, the Shero props. I've read about their advantages, but I was wondering if they really live up to the hype and if they're worth the extra expense.
Yeah, right. I'm not really sure how to answer that. I've used a Shero prop on a boat. I saw a slight bit of improved performance. I don't think that prop was generally built for the boat I was using it on. So there's a little bit of difference here. I think I would recommend calling Shero because they're very, very specific on how they build these propellers, and they want to know exactly what your boat model is, what the horsepower is, what the weight is, the style of, or the way you're using the boat. They really want to know all these things. Where's your optimum RPM range when you are using the boat? Because it's very specific. Then they're building these custom propellers. So it's a very intimate relationship when you start going down that propeller chase. And I'm not
that
really
rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole. So it's hard for me because they're like $5,000.
Wow.
And so it's not like I'm going to stock these things and be like, yeah, go try this one.
Yeah.
And oh, that didn't work. And it just becomes this chase game. So I would, if you're interested, they are expensive, but if you want to do it, give them a call. They're actually phenomenal. And I think they have some return policies, or if it doesn't work, they'll tweak it again and keep working with you. And I do know a couple people that got it dialed in, and it is a cost savings on fuel by quite a bit from what I hear.
I can back up everything you just said there. I've got a good friend who's got a boat in the charter fleet at in Sitka on the Chilcat, and he put those props on. That's on triple outboards, and it's a serious investment. And the first round just unfortunately didn't perform the way that they thought that they would. And those guys were fantastic. I think he's on his third set at no additional cost because they know you're making a very serious investment in those props, and they want to get exactly the performance that they claim to get. And it took a few tries, but crazy good performance on their end, or customer service on their end, until they did start to see the economy that became worth it. And if you're a guy that puts serious hours on your boats and you're seeing, fuel economy differences, they eventually will pay for themselves. Like, sure. It was a really good deal.
It's a big investment, $12,000 for a
huge
three props.
For
right?
props.
Now let's talk about props. Props make a huge difference.
Sure.
If you buy Yamaha props from West Coast Marine, do you have the ability to make sure people dial in the correct prop, or if you buy it, you got it?
Yeah, we do for sure. The boats are tested obviously from the factory, and they have a specific prop they put on, which generally works very well. Once you start adding equipment and maybe rigging out your boat and putting more weight on there, we might suggest pitching down. And there's an easy way to tell if you're kind of in the right pitch range, which is just go, if it's nice out, wide open throttle, trim the engine up so you get that bow out of the water and the boat's really riding nice and the bow's out of the water. And you want to be 5,500 to 6,000 RPMs is optimal. So that's a pretty easy way to test if you got the right prop.
Yeah. But if you're not getting 5,500,
if you're getting below 5,000 RPMs on your 4-stroke outboard or Yamaha, then you would probably change the pitch.
You need to change the prop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have the ability to be able to help people.
Yeah. And if I sell a boat or we do a repower and I think this prop's going to work, and then we do some testing on it, or you take it out and that one does not work well, I have a pretty good track record of knowing which one will work well. We'll swap it out.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
You nailed it too when you said that it's a huge difference. I mean, it can completely change it can completely change the boat, how it performs, how it comes out of the hole, max RPMs, fuel economy. Like, it's wild. And it doesn't take much change in pitch or whatever to make that insane difference.
Not at all.
For sure. Hey, Devin from Sam's Clemente has an interesting question. Is there an off-the-shelf boat cover for a 24, or do you have to have a boat cover custom made?
I'm assuming he's talking about maybe a Parker, but no, they don't sell a boat cover. We custom make them.
You custom make.
We got canvas guys around town. They'll come measure it out and build what you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've gone both ways. I've bought the off-the-shelf kind of, full cover things. They just don't work right.
They're awful.
They're awful. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Awful. Yeah.
Nobody likes putting covers on. Like, make one that works for you.
Spend the money to get a quality cover. It'll basically last you forever.
Yeah.
It's and it really enhances the value of your boat and the care of your boat for the future.
And just security too. Like, you're all of a sudden all your parts and pieces that you have on there are just out of sight, out of mind. It's just everything about that is the right move.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, this text came from Darren in Menifee. He says, "Good morning, guys. What a great show. Hey, Nick, with PCS show coming, I'm really in my head of my needs and I've got my needs and wants list ready. My question is about the size of boat that is maximum trailerable. I have a 22-foot Clearwater, and I'm really in the market to upgrade, but I need it to still be trailerable. I'm thinking Parker 25. Is that the biggest for comfortable on the road? What are your suggestions? Can't wait to see you next week."
Yeah, I think he answered his own question. That 25 is it's just big enough to fish really well and do what you want, and then it's easy enough to trailer. Like, if you're in San Clemente, you come down to San Diego, launch it. I think that's you get a nice dual axle Pacific trailer, West Coast trailer under there, and that's an easy tow with the right truck. Yeah, the 28 just, you're adding a lot more length than a triple axle. It becomes a little bit of a different thing. People do it all the time, but I think that 25 is right in that sweet spot.
Totally.
There you go. A lot of questions like this, so I think we should address it. That's from Dave in San Diego. It says, "Good morning, fun show. Can you please clarify the relationship between Costa Mesa location and the San Diego location?"
Sure. In short, Gonzalo and I Gonzalo's down here at West Coast San Diego. We started West Coast Marine Service in 2008, and then we opened up the San Diego location in like 18 or 19, and then few years went on, he moved down to San Diego, and then we split it, and he kept the San Diego location and I kept the Costa Mesa location.
And two completely separate businesses.
Two separate businesses. Talk to the guys quite frequently, trade parts, engines if we need something.
Two good friends.
It's kind of nice. Like, if I need an engine and I don't have it in stock, I'll just call the shop down here and I can get it sent up there.
And they're great down here. They do a great job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they pretty much just do service. They don't sell boats.
I don't think so. I think they might have gotten into like the G3 or something like that. So they might have little John boats.
Yeah. But they don't sell Parkers. You guys sell the Parkers. West Coast Marine and Costa Mesa sells the Parkers, the Camus. What else do you have?
I was doing some inflatables, which I love. Not really fishing oriented, but I've
but
always
if you're taking your boat over to Catalina,
right? Yeah, so we do some small inflatables, and then Yamaha service, and that's it.
Yeah. And the Camus come with Mercury, so
they come with whatever you want.
Oh, whatever you want.
Yeah, so you can get Mercury's on there, Yamaha. I think you can get Suzuki's on there, but the biggest player for Camus is Yamaha or Mercury right now. Yeah.
The thing too that I just want to reiterate, and it's always been what happens at West Coast Marine Newport Beach, is you guys do such a good job tailoring the boat to the customer. And my and Neil's experience was exactly the same. As I had a buddy buy a boat last year from you guys, and just, you guys do such a good job of recognizing what a person does and assisting with the rigging or not, of however you do the boat, bait tanks, towers, electronics, like you just get your hand held through the whole process. And if you're a guy that's savvy and wants to do all your own parts, no problem. But you guys are just amazing at, you've outrigged hundreds of Parkers at this point and have just seen the options that make sense, seen the ones that don't make sense. Hey, this is worth getting from the factory. Hey, save your money and do your own because the West Coast version is better. Like, the process is so killer with you guys.
Well, nice to hear. Thank you. And it's just like kind of the team in our area, and a lot comes from Fishing Boats Unlimited, and Dave at Seaside Marine Electronics helps us out a lot with rigging this stuff and doing a lot of really cool trick stuff with Garmin and Simrad, and the guys building the towers. They can speak to you and you can tell them exactly what you want, and they'll kind of custom tailor it to you.
And you guys do it all, bait tanks
and bait tank,
everything.
yeah. And so it's kind of funny. Like a lot of the Parkers look the same, but once they leave, everybody's got their little spin on it, and it's feels very custom, which I think people like.
Yeah. So if somebody orders a boat from you, they don't have to go out and do all their own rigging. You can do that all at West Coast Costa Mesa.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rig the whole thing.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup, including finding out who's winning that killer prize pack. Again, we're giving away a full day on the San Diego. We're giving away 2 of those great Seawald photographs and 2 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. So, if you want your tackle to be the state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar, available at fine tackle dealers.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year, the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss it.
The PCS show is coming, and Gamakatsu has an amazing show deal for you. Buy any 2 packs of Gamakatsu hooks at participating dealers and get 1 free. That in itself is an amazing deal. But get this. Purchase $30 of Gamakatsu products at the show and get a free pair of Gamakatsu pliers and a cinch bag. So get the buy 2, get 1 free deal plus the free pliers with a $30 purchase at participating dealers while supplies last, only from Gamakatsu at the PCS show.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America and certainly #1 with anglers. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining build Fort tough, and never settling. But what really made Ford F-Series #1 is you. So now is the time to take advantage of great deals and programs today. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today and explore the F-Series and the full truck lineup. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. What an awesome show. I can't believe 2 hours is already done. I have such a good time with Nick in here. Hey, the big winner of all that great trip, the trip on the San Diego, those killer Seawald photos, and the PCS show in Costa Mesa tickets is going to a caller or texter. We're going to find out right now. Today we have a texter winning. Congratulations, Ted in San Diego. You've got that full prize pack coming your way.
Man, such a great job. And we'll see you on Thursday at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing
Looking forward
Show
to
in Costa Mesa, right down the street from West Coast Marine, right?
That's right.
You're going to have all those boats you talked about and a whole bunch more, right?
Yeah, come check them out. Climb all over them.
Yeah, climb all over them. So give us a rundown again of what you'll have there.
2820 cabin boat, 2520 cabin boat, 2420 cabin boat, 23 center console, 21 center console, 8, maybe the 18 center console. Camus 34
but
cat.
But the CCA one
CCA will have the 18.
Same boat.
Same boat. 34 cat from Camus, 28
Wow.
Camus, 26 Camus, and a 20 bass boat from Cayman.
It's like a boat show within a boat show.
If I can fit it all in. I don't know yet. I got to go over there.
All with the Yamaha outboards. And of course, don't forget, Yamaha has that special with up to 7 years of warranty, extended warranty on your motor.
Depending on the horsepower.
And that goes on till the end of March.
March 31st.
Yeah. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that, because that's one heck of a deal.
It's great.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah. It's take advantage of that deal. And service. You guys are the best at service. So if you need service, now is the time to book it. Book an appointment, right?
It's a great time.
Yeah. How do you book an appointment?
Just call the office, 949-515-2822.
And just tell them what you need to have done.
Call me or George in the office there, and we'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Nick. Well, we'll see you at the PCS show. And of course, the address for West Coast Marine?
1555 Newport Boulevard, Costa Mesa, 92627.
All right. Very good. All right. Hey, thanks for listening today. Thanks to Adam for everything he does on the app. And of course, thanks to you out there for all your support, your listeners, and supporting our sponsors like Nick. Sure appreciate that. We'll be back tomorrow morning on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. We'll have Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, and then joined in the second hour, Christy from Dawson Insurance. See you tomorrow, right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup.